So how to delete application from emulator? Uh, the procedure is very simple. If you can see the very left hand side here, you when you click this one, okay, when you click this one, then you will get this menu. Okay, I think I should do practically. Yeah. Then you will get this menu, and when you drag this one down, then you will get the mm, setting icon. And once you get this icon and click on this setting icon, you will get exactly like in a mobile app, the setting menu. And here you will select the apps and notifications. Once you select that one, then you will get all the applications which are there. Then you will select the particular application that you want to uninstall, and then you will click uninstall. So just the way where to go, this one, to click here, and then drop down this one down, and then setting up application, and then select the apps and notification, and then you will see the list of application there, and you can uninstall. I think it should be easier, not difficult. Let me show you here. You see, if you click this one, you see, you will get this one, and when you drag this one down, okay, you will get this setting apps, and here you when you click it, you see, you will get all the applications. So the recent one, you see, I just run the this application now, so it is already there. So if you select that one, you will get the open, force stop, and uninstall option, and then you can uninstall. So sometimes we need to uninstall, especially in the inter-process communication. We need to uninstall some application if they are already installed. So sometimes we need this. Okay, next topic that is the main topic for today, that how to read and write in cache memory, and how to read and write to external storage. Okay, so the cache memory is a private data, is a private location, and memory location, and here each application can store some amount of data, and that will be stored privately, and no other application can access that one. And the external is a public data, and it is shared on an external storages. And external storage can be maybe the removable storage, like memory card, okay, or internal storage, maybe like the document folder or download folder or any other folders, okay, that you create, and it may be any other so all the other the external externally available memory, which may be internal, which may be external, which may be the different folder that we have on mobile, or maybe it is created by user, but all these external storage is actually shareable, and it is public and can be accessed by other applications also. Okay, so be careful when you are writing that to external. It can be accessed by other applications also. So how to do that? Let's create an application like this. I have already created. Let me show you, and we will go through step by step, and later on I will share with you all the informations. Don't worry. Okay, so let me close this one first. Okay, I just created this one, but I think I will create another one. Yeah, let's go through. Select empty activity. Next, give a name, cache, cache, and external storage. Cache and external storage, maybe two, because I think maybe I have one already. So finish. Okay, let me close this one. Go to the XML file. Okay, so this one is the XML file. If I will drag like this here, and after that, I this one I want to just display something for the user, and I don't want to link this one to the bottom. So let me go to the attributes and just delete the bottom constraints. Okay. After that, I need one edit text, plain text, to that someone that we could type there whatever information we want to store in the cache directory or in internal or external directory. So connect this one with this. Okay, now I need several buttons, one for internal cache, one for external cache, one for external private, one for external public. So I need four buttons. Okay, Mm, this one. Okay, so now I think it's I want to edit its attributes and constraints. So I will switch to the code editor. That one is easy to do all these tasks. Okay, this one I will, it should be a text view, no problem. And here I will just type enter some information, some information, enter oh, some information. Maybe you can change its font size, 20sp. Okay, now the edit text, I will change its ID because I want to use later on encoding. Okay, if I am going faster or at any point you didn't get what I am saying or you didn't get what I am typing or if I am going faster, please let me know. Okay, I am keep watching the chat window. So if anything, you can stop me. Okay, so this one, the edit text, I will change its ID and I want to change this one to edit text ET. ET stands for edit text and then it is information. So ET information. Okay, once I change this ID, you will realize that you see here I got an error because previously it was connected to the previous ID. So I will change the previous ID by this new ID. So it become okay. Now here I don't want to type something in advance, but we can give a hint to the user that, for example, enter some info. I'll type the information here. Type the information. Okay, now the button. One button I need to save data into internal cache. So this will become btn internal cache. Okay, btn internal cache. And the text I will give save to internal cache. Okay, the width I will change to fill parent. Okay, now I want to connect a click event also, that when we click this one, then it will get the information from the edit text and will write to the internal cache. So for that purpose, we will use onClick event. So onClick, the function name should be save to internal cache. We will get a message telling us that you want to create this in a main activity. Yes, we want to create this one. Go back. Now you see we want four buttons, internal cache, external cache, and then external private and external public. So the easy way that I will just copy this one, you see, and later on I will just change the naming and the event's name. It's much more easier. So you see the btn internal cache are already there. So I will change this one to external cache, btn external cache. The name should be also to external cache, and the function should be also to save to external cache. When I you see, and don't forget to change this one also, that this one you see the it should connect to this button. You see the before button, one button should be aligned with another, the another, so it should be like this. So previously this was with the edit text, but now we want the second button should attach to the first button, and third to the second, fourth to the third. like that. So this is why don't forget to change this one. Okay. After that, I will. That Studio is telling us to create this function. Yes, create. Okay. Now we will create the third button, and the third button again. We will have to. I simply want to copy this one. It's up to you. Okay. It's not a standard way that what I am doing. Okay, but everybody has on like and dislike. So you can do whatever you want to do. So the third button will be external private. Okay. So this one will be btn external. The cache I will change to private. Okay. And this one will be connected to the external cache. You see, to the second button. So I will change this one also. Okay, its name will be saved to external private. And the function, the click event for this will be also saved to external private. When we change it, we will get the message that you want to create this. Yes. Alt enter, click here and press Alt enter. You will get this option. Create this the function that we have named here in a main activity. Yes, so it will create for us. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I need four button. Why I'm copying and pasting? Because if you see to the design, you see it's becoming quite consistent. So I don't need to every time drag and drop and do the layer constraints. So I think it's quite easy for me. Maybe not for you. So everybody, I told you that you have your own choice. You can go to the design view, drag by yourself, type everything whatever you want. Okay, so this one will be btn external public. Okay, public. This one external. The name should be also external public, and this one should be connected to this to the internal private. Okay, this done. The click event will be also external public. When we change it, we will get the message. Alt enter. Yes, create this in main activity. Okay, done. I need another button which will bring us to the next second activity. I have not created the second activity, but we will create soon. Okay, so for that purpose, I will copy the same button and I will press here. I will give here btn next. Okay, and its name, its text will be also next, and here will be go to next. Go to second, whatever you want to give. It's up to you. So alt in okay, and this will be connected to the btn external public, not the private. You see this thing, the constraint, the button constraint, you don't forget to change. Otherwise, when it display, then it will be connected to a wrong button. So again, let's create this this function also here. So done. Okay, so you see we created the whole design like this. Oh, this one also I want to make it fill parent. This one, the edit text, the typing area, fill parent. Now let's see. Yeah, you see, enter some information that the user will type here. We have four buttons for internal cache, uh, external private, external public, and then next button. Hello guys, any one of you until now? Okay, so let's add the second activity also. Then the design will complete. Okay, and finally we will do all the coding. So to add another activity, go to the project window and under the Java folder, right click on this, go to new. Okay, then activity, then empty activity. You see, I'm repeating quickly again. Under the Java folder, the application name, right click on that, new activity, and then empty activity. Empty activity. You can give name to this second activity, maybe a second activity. Second activity. Okay. Finish this one. Okay, let's close this project view. And now you see, in the second activity, actually I want like this, exactly the same information and exactly the same design, but the save to will change to read from internal cache, read from an external cache, and read from in external private, and read from external public. So the saving will change to reading. So I feel easy like this, that I will I will copy the coding of all these and will just paste in the next one. Like you see here, I will copy all these coding and later on just change the save to read from and the function names accordingly. Okay, so I just copied this coding and I will go to the second activity. You see, it is totally empty, and go to its text version, and then after the the package information and inside the layouts constraint, inside, no, make sure it must be inside this closing layout constraint. So just paste here everything. Okay, you see, quite easy. If you go to design view, you see everything we got, but we need to change the save to read from. Okay, this should be the same text view. Enter the here I will not type enter some information. The information are the information you entered, yeah, something like that. Okay, this should be also text view, and it takes no problem. Type, I think here no need for the hint, because here will be not typing. The no need here will be just displayed, so no need to give the hint. Okay, this one btn uh, internal cache. So I will just change btn read from internal cache. Okay, and this one the text I will change also read from internal cache, and the click event will also I will change to read from internal cache. Okay, and this one is the bottom constraint is correct, no need to change because we didn't change the top edit text id. Okay, so this one read from internal cache. Android Studio says that you should create this one. Yeah, we should create. Okay, done. Second one, first of all, you see we got the constraint error here because previously it was connected to internal cache, but now we change this one to read from internal cache. So we will change this ID. So done. Okay, this button ID, the second button ID will be btn external cache, but I will change btn and read from external cache. Okay, uh, actually it is a totally different activity. If you don't want to change, still okay, can work. But this one, the text we should change read from external cache, and the event name should also be changed read from external cache. Yeah, so when we change this one, we will get an error message to create the method. Yes, create the method in main activity. Done. Second button done. Read from external cache. Third button, read from in external private. So just read from external private. Change the text to read from external private. Okay, change the click event method name also to read from external private. And you see the bottom constraint we got an error. So you see, just copy this ID, okay, and paste here, so it will become okay. So the function read from external private, press alt enter, we will get create this one in a main activity. This one done. Fourth one, we need a read from external public. The ID I will change to this. Okay, so this one also, if I change the internal private ID, so let's change this one also first of all. Okay, so btn read from external public, The text should also change to read from external public. The click event method should also change read from external public. Constraints are okay. So this one, alt enter, create this method in main activity. Yes, done. Okay, the last one, the next button actually we don't need here because we don't have a third activity to go. You can, if you want, you can go back, like to go to the first activity. If you want, you can do like that. If you don't want, maybe go back. Here we can type like this. Back and go back. So if we want to use it, change its constraint also to this one. It should be connected to the bottom of the fourth button. So it will be like that. Okay, this function, if you want to create, so create this one also in the main activity. So now if you see, we have completed everything. Yeah, this one, you see, if you go to design, change to design view, you see, yeah, the information you entered here, the information will be displayed. So read from internal cache, read from external cache, read from external private, read from external public, and go back if you want to go to the first activity. So we have two activities now. You see, the first one is for saving, save to, and the second one is read from. Okay. So let's start coding in the main activity.java file. So first of all, we need to create a reference to the edit text because in the edit text, the user will type the text and we need to get this text and then save to the different storage directories. So therefore, we need the edit text reference variable here. So edit text, and I am defining before the event because before this create event because I want to access this one in several functions, in several methods. So if you want to access in outside, then it should be in the global scope. Okay, so here edit text, it's easy, equal to find view by id r dot id dot uh, this one is et information, edit text information. Okay, now the second point is that we get the information, the text, we will get this text, and then we will to get to write some writing a text in the internal cache or external cache or private or public storage. Okay, you need the same four thing that last time we did. Let me just quickly go one time again. Number first, you should have some text, whatever text you have. So this text I will get from the edit text that the user will type. Second option, we need a folder. In which folder you want to create a file. You see, first will be folder, then will be a file, and then inside the file will be a text. So we actually need four different things. So folder, then third is the file, okay, and fourth one is the writing process, okay. Write this text here in this file. And actually the same process will be in the reverse order when you are reading something. So when you are reading something, you need a folder, okay? You need a folder, from which folder, and then inside the folder, which file, and then you will read, okay? And in that case, we were writing, and here we will read. And once we read the text, we got the text. So now we will have to display somewhere. Then we will display the text in the edit text uh, view, in the edit text view. Okay. So this is the procedure that we will do everywhere. So here you see in this function also, in this function also, in this function also, in this function also. So in all these four functions, we need to repeat the same thing. The only thing which will be changed, the folder. So here we will access internal cache folder. Here we will access external cache folder, and here we will access external private, and here we will access external public. So the different folders will change. The rest, okay, we will create files also. So here we will create file 1, here will be file 2, here will be file 3, and here will be file 4 to differentiate from each other. Okay, and you see the writing. So here will also be the writing process, the writing process. Here will be also the writing process. Here will be also the, so the writing process is again and again and again. So 4 times. So for that purpose, it's a good habit and professional way that if some code is reusable and is used again and again, then create a function for that, a method for that, and just call again and again. So no need to type the coding again and again. You should create a method for that. So let's go through like that. So first of all, save to internal cache. So we need, first of all, we need the string data that we should get from the edit text. So string, you can give any name. For example, I will give the data equal to get text. Oh, edit text dot get text, but change to string also, to string. We got the text, one step. Second step, we need to get the folder, file, system, and then folder. You see, I got error message when I type the file, and you see Android Studio is keep giving me the hints that press Alt Enter together. That you see, press Alt Enter together to that this class should be included to this file. So the class is not included. So if the class is not included, we will not get the IntelliSense. So let's click here, Alt Enter first. Okay, import the class. You see, import the class. Yes. So now become okay. So let's create a link to the folder and store that link in the variable folder. So which folder we want to access? This one is internal cache. So get cache dir. Cache dir. This is the internal cache dir. We got folder also. Second thing, we need the file. Sorry, third one, file. So I can give my file, equal to new file. Sorry, new file. And here this file should be created, but where it should be created? It should be created in the folder. And what should be the file name? The file name should be my data one dot. So we will give 1 2 3 4 5. So you can give any name that you want. I am giving my data one dot txt. Okay, and here semicolon. So we got the text, we create the folder, got the folder access, we got the file inside the folder. The fourth step is writing the text in that file. So you see, as I told you, this is a writing process again and again. So I want to create a file, sorry, create a method for this, and I will just call from here. Okay, so that one I should just give a name like write data, and this function will get what, the file name. Okay, the file name, and the data, the data. So we will send the text and the file name, then the function will write this information in that file. Okay, so you see, Android Studio is telling us that this file is not, this function is not available. If I click Alt Enter, it will give me create the method in a main activity. Do you want to create? You see, so I said yes, but I want to cut from here and put at the end, because to be a bit more clear. Okay, now the writing step, I think I will do at the end, because if we go through these 4 steps, then it will be easy for you to understand, like the internal cache, then external cache, then internal. Yeah, so the writing file, this method I will create later on. So the same process will be for the external cache. The only thing, you see, the text will be the same that we got from the edit text. Only the folder will change. The folder name is get external cache dir, not internal one. Okay, this one only change. The rest of the, okay, the file will also change. This will be my data dot my data2.txt, and you see string, folder, file, and then write the text there. The same thing will happen in internal, external, private. Okay, but you see here the external private. This one is a bit tricky, because if you are accessing the external uh, public and private data, so maybe if there is a permission issue, or maybe that the folder is not available, so to make sure that it should not crash, we should use if file, sorry, if condition. Okay, if what the external folder is available, is accessible. Okay, so I will just put that if we will put in the if condition that if the external private directory that we want to access is accessible, so get, okay, get external file directory, get external storage. Let me see. Get external storage public directory. Get external get external file, external. Let me just, yeah, it is correct. Android Studio was correct. I was wrong. That if get external file directory, and this get external file directory, I will give the name which file this directory will be created there. You can give any name that you want. For example, like my private my private data, let's suppose. This will be the folder name. Okay, that if this folder is available, okay, sorry, if this is not equal to null, yeah, then it will be available. And after that, this coding we will cut here and we put here. The external one is a bit uh, okay. We will create the folder now. So the file, the folder equal to uh, get external file here, and the folder name will be this one. Okay, so when you get this one, then its information will be stored here in this folder, and then create a file inside this folder, and the file name will be my data3.txt, and then write the file. Okay, the only difference in this one is that I want to check that this if this one is available, so we'll check the accessibility. If this one is not available, then it will be created. Okay, that if this folder is accessible, then create a link to this and a file inside this and write data inside this. Okay, the same thing will happen in the external one also, but the external directory name is only different. Okay, the same thing like here. So the directory name is external public directory, so it is different. It is in the environment dot get external storage public directory, this one. And then you see in the external public directory we have several, like my documents, downloads, images, and maybe user created many public directories. So which one you want to access? So environment, sorry, environment dot You see, these are the directories like directory download, directory uh, DCIM and so on, movies, music, and you see the picture. So all these are the possible directories, but you can select any one from this directory that you want to create a file there. So let's select the downloads one. These are in external public directory. So the file should change this time to 4 and write the file. Now you see we did internal cache. So its folder name is get cache dir. External cache is folder name is get external cache dir. The rest of process, the file and writing data is the same. And here the get external file dir is a private folder, and this private folder you create it. Okay, and then we are checking that if this is already created and accessible, then create this file there. The external one is like this: environment that get external storage public directory, and environment dot a series of directory that which one you want, and the file inside that, and then write. So now let's write the file here now. Okay, so when we are writing the file, if you remember, uh, in our previous class also we did, it is almost exactly like creating a file. So file output stream, because we are writing the file, so file output stream equal to null. So I'm defining as a null at the beginning, because later on I want to access this reference at different places. Okay, now this one I will use input, sorry, file input stream, file output stream. Did I create it input? Yeah, you see that there is a mistake. Is like this. It should not be input stream, because we are writing file output stream. Okay, uh, file output stream equal to none. So file output stream file output stream equal to new. Which file you want to write? New file output stream. Okay, the file name. Oh, you see, from everywhere, you see, from each function, internal cache, we are sending the file name, you see, and that is inside the function argument, my file. Here also, my file. So here, the my file show my data 1. Here, the my file show my data 2. So everywhere it show a respective file. So here I will say my file. Okay, so you write this file. Okay, so you write this file, and now you see we get and underline this. If you remember previously also, so it is asking for try catch block, because the file system is always like this, that maybe it is risky, maybe it is the permission issue. So the system should not crash. Okay, so we create a link to the file. We open the file which was created. We just open it. We didn't wrote anything yet. Okay, so now to write the file output stream dot write. Okay, so it's a write in a byte. Yeah, this one, the first one. Okay, so then what we should write, you see, the data that we have sent to this function, the data, the string data, and this data everywhere we are getting from the edit text. Okay, so this data we will write here, the data, but the data should be in get bytes, because the system is writing in a byte way, not in a character. So here again under write we got the red line, so press alt enter and add a catch class. Once all these done, okay, then here I can give the finally, and inside the finally file output stream, I can close. Okay, so you see again here in close it gives us the error and the exception, that it says that add a class even to that. You see here I want to access the file output stream, therefore I have defined like this. Okay, outside the case block. So for this function it become like a global. So if you don't define like this, then you cannot access here. So this is the general write data function, and from every class like internal, you see we are calling from here, the same function we are calling from here, here and here. So therefore, it is a good candidate to create a method for that. The only thing that we left is the go to the next activity button, and you know that when you go to next activity, we need intent. Intent is equal to new intent, and this intent need the context as a this, and which activity you want to go, second activity dot class. Okay, we created intent. Now start activity. Okay, the start activity, which activity, this intent one. Okay, so done, everything done, I hope, in the first interface. Okay, should I quickly check? Okay, you can actually display a toast messages also if you want. You see, yeah, save to this, save to this, save to this, but I'm not saving yet. I'm just checking that it can go to next. Yes, it can go to next. Okay, and here read from, read from, read from, read from. Okay, so let's close it. Let's go to the second activity, and this almost the same process, but here is reverse of that, reading, not writing. Okay, so we are reading now, reading now. Mm, so the same process will be there. Here I will create the edit text, edit text. Okay, and let's link this edit text with the ID. Uh, Edit text equal to find view by ID, r dot id dot the edit text information. Okay, now you see in the read from internal cache is almost the same thing. Is almost the same thing. So here again, in this read from internal cache, so we will get a link to the folder first. Okay, from which folder, which file we want to read. So file, folder. Again here it is a different Java file. So you see it give us remind us that import this class. So import, yes. Okay, so folder equal to get. If you remember, the internal cache was get cache dir. So we got the folder, and then inside this folder, what file you want to read. So file, and my file equal to new file. Okay, and here pass the folder, that inside this folder, and the file name should be the same one that we have created. Make sure the spelling wise must be the same. So it was my data one.txt. So this file we have created earlier there, so we want to access this one. So we got the folder, we got the file. Now what left? So the reading process, and then once we read, then we will display whatever we read. So the reading process, we will again, you see, read here, read here, read here, and read here. So again, like the writing process, the reading process is also actually repeated. So we will create a function for that. So string data, and this data will be returned by the reading function. So read data, this will be the function that we will create, and this will okay, this will only need the file information, that from which file we should read. Okay, once we create this file, okay, let's do it. Alt enter, create this, yes, create, but I want, like last time, to put this at the very end, then it will not disturb the sequence. It will be easy in understanding. Okay, so string read data, the read data will method will read data from this file and will return the string, the text, to this. And once we get the text, okay, then let's just check that if this data not equal to null, not equal to null, then what we should do? Then we should display in the edit view. Okay, and that one is wow. That is the, sorry, that one is what? That one is edit text dot set text. Okay, and what? The data that we already have. If it is like this, if the data is available, it will be displayed. Else, you can actually display something else. Okay, and that one maybe edit text dot set text, and you can display some message like no data was returned. No data was returned. Okay, so the same process will be almost in the second one also. You see, only what will change? The directory will change. So this was get cache dir. Okay, if you bring a mouse over this, you see all the information about this method. If you can go through if you want to get a detail. So this one I will copy again like previous time and will paste here also. Okay, so this one the only directory will change and the file name will change. So this one is get sorry, get external cache dir. Yeah, get external cache dir, and the file name will be mydata2.txt. And once we get the file, we will call this function again. We will send the file. The function will read from this file and will send data. If you see, this return type is string. Okay, so it will send a string to us, and that string will be stored here in this string data variable, and then we are checking if it is available, so display here. If not available, then display a message. And the same process we will repeat somehow in the external private. But if you don't, you see just that the folder will change, and the folder was what? Get external file dir. Get external file dir. And what was the folder name? If you remember, my private data. It must be the same that we created earlier. Otherwise, you will not get the data. And note the point that in this directory, the file that we created, it was my data3.txt. And we got the folder, we got the file. So call the function, read data, pass the file name. This function will read from this file and will return us the data as a string. And we check that if this data is not null, means successfully read the file, then edit text, display at the edit text view, otherwise display a message. Okay, and somehow the same process will be in the external dir. But if you remember, the external dir was where? In the environment that get external storage public directory, and then again environment which directory, because there are many directory there, so we want the download directory because we have created in the download directory. Okay, now the file was what? My data file txt4 my data4.txt. The same process, call the function, send the file. Function will read from that. If got, it will send the data and display here. Now it's time to go to the read file. You see, in this read file, we are getting the file information. Okay, so we will read from this file. So this reading process is almost the same like last time we did in a file storage. So file input, not the point, it should be input because we are reading, not file output. Okay, so file input equal to null. As I told you, I am declaring here as a null because this variable we need to access in different scopes. So if we don't declare like this, then we cannot access. So file input, uh, yes, we will get this one. File input equal to new file input stream. So which file you want? The my file that we got in this semicolon. If you remember, again, it is a file system, and in a file system there is always a possibility of some error. So we should put this in a try catch block. So alt enter and add a try catch block. Again, after this, once we make a link to the file, now we will start the reading process. So the reading process is like this. If you remember, last time we also did the same, that it will read the first character, then second character, third character, and so on. And once it reach to the end of the file, then it will return -1. -1 means the system reached to the end of the file. So for this purpose, we should create a variable to show that we could check, okay, that is the system reached to the end of the file or not. Okay, so while we will use a loop, while what this read equal to input, sorry, file input, stream dot read. Okay, the file input stream dot read, it will read character by character and will assign to this read. Okay, so if it read a character, then the read will store the character, next character, next character, next character, until it reach to the end of the file. Okay, then it will become not equal to -1. So this process will be continued until it reach to -1. Again, the reading from file is a risky, so we should put a catch class. Okay, so once we read character by character, then what we should do? We should create a string buffer variable to store all these characters, equal to new buffer, new string buffer. Okay, and this buffer, sorry, buffer dot append. Okay, buffer dot append, but the reading is in the form of bytes, so we will change the bytes to character. So just put character in a bracket, and we after this put the what the read, because the character is there in the read. So read a character, convert to a character, and put in a buffer. Next, put in a buffer. Next, and append. Okay, this process will be continued until end of the file. Once all these completed, then outside the loop, we should we have the text now. You see, we have the buffer now. So this is a function, and this function is returning the string. So after this, we should return the buffer, and the buffer is the buffer variable because it is inside this scope. Okay, so let me cut this one. It should not be like that, but uh, let me just put after this. Yeah, it was some scope problem, you see. Previously I checked like this, it is working, but now okay. So here return buffer dot to string. So you see that the issue was what, I created the buffer. Oh, so I should not create in the loop. If I create in the loop, so this was the correct way. So if I create in the loop the buffer, every time new variable will be created. Yeah, so this is the correct way. Previously, if you remember, I created here, okay, here, but it is a wrong way because it is inside the loop, and inside the loop every time it will be created. Okay, so it should be outside the loop. Okay, now so this will be returned, and then finally, okay, the file input stream should be closed. This is why we define this one outside. Okay, so then I'll enter and try one, and you see here we are still getting an error message. Why? Because you see, if this whole process is going successfully, then it will return the buffer. But if doesn't successfully, if it is not successful reading from the file, then what should happen? Then it should return null. So meaning to say, we should return something in a failure case also. So return null if something is not. Yeah, so you see the error gone now. Okay, this one is the back one. If you want to see, I think let's quickly do intent. Okay, new intent. Okay, so oh, sorry. So new intent here, the is this, sorry, this, and which class we want to go? Main activity, not second activity. Main activity dot class. Okay, so we want to go to main activity. Okay, so I hope everything is okay. Let's run. Yeah, everything is okay, but there is one thing. At one stage, the system will crash. But I want to show you when it crashes, then maybe you will understand better. So I will do that, fix that one at that time. So first of all, internal cache, save in internal cache. You see, it is saved. But you can display Atos message also if you want. Okay, then next one, external cache, save in external cache. Next one, external private. So I will change this one, external private. I will click external private button. Okay, then external public. Here the system will crash if you see, because if I go to public, you see the system crash. Why? Because when you are accessing a public directory, okay, external public directory, then you need a permission, okay, and we didn't put any permission in this app. So to put permissions, you will go to project directory, and then in the project under the apps there is a manifest folder, and open the manifest file, okay, and inside this manifest file we need to add a read and write permissions. Okay, so user permissions, you just type read external storage. Okay, close this, and again user permission write external storage. So external storage, you cannot, external reading and writing you cannot do without this permission. So now if I run again, okay, so this time will not crash. But you know that the external memory, we cannot see in a emulator, because emulator cannot support memory card. So it is only you can see in a real device. Okay, and I check in my mobile, it can create externally in the download folder. Okay, so now if I type external public, okay, and if I click the save to external public, go to next.